So, none of us do this to make a ton of money. We hope to make a living. What's the thing that you find most fun or most rewarding? What's the best moment for you in the building process?
For me, when I came back from the frame building school, it was a rewarding experience just to build my first bicycle and, to be able to ride it. And like I say, I love to see my frames raced, but I just like building something, working with your hands, making something, and giving it to somebody that's going to enjoy it and be out on the road with it, riding it, whether it's racing it or just hanging out with friends. And I just enjoy the process of making something and having somebody else appreciate it and enjoy it.
The most rewarding aspect for me easily is giving it to the customer. And you don't always get to know your customers personally. I mean, you talk to them a lot, but a lot of times they're across the U.S. or on another continent. And it's always great when you get that first email or phone call back and it's nothing but 4-letter words describing how much they like your bike.
That's great. On the flip side, what's in the build process, what's your biggest challenge or what's the biggest hiccup for you?
Is it the biggest challenge in the build process? Oh, there's a lot. There's always something. I would say the biggest challenge that I have is pushing to stay on top. Every day, I think there's a new bottom bracket design right now. And it's a game. I mean, when you're small, like a lot of us are, I can't adapt to every single bottom bracket design because I tie up tooling, molds, material cost into that design only for it to go obsolete. So staying current, but following the trends that matter and not chasing the small little offshoots that are as neat as they are or as niche as they are, ultimately will be dead in 3 years.
For me, as a new builder, the hardest challenge has just been working to get my name out there and get people on my bikes. And you want to get good feedback so that it grows. And some of the most rewarding experiences I've had are like he says, when the customer writes you back and says, "Man, the bike ride's sweet," or I actually just shipped a frame to Japan, which was my first international order, so I was really stoked about that. And that was, it was neat to be able to ship something overseas and have it over there, and other people being able to see your name. And so anyway.
It's funny, in the first round table, everybody said the rear triangle was their biggest challenge. So, everybody agrees that's the one of the most difficult. Okay, well, we're going to wrap up with the formal questions here with one final thing, and then I've got some little fun questions to go through. Tell us about any interesting products or interesting bikes you're working on right now, or anything new and different and challenging, or maybe is there a new direction that you're going with a particular part of the product line?
When people order bikes, and I go through this and my painters go through this, there comes a point where you do so many bikes that are the same. When I call up a painter or start talking with color on someone, red, black, and white, 90% of the bikes out there are those colors. And when you look through bike magazines, that's the colors that they are. Perhaps it's because they sell if they're painted red, black, and white, and there's a safety net. But when people call up and someone says, "I want lime green and purple and cut loose," then you start having fun. And from the building aspect, when people, like I'm doing one right now that's going to Switzerland, integrated seat post, press fit 30, full DI tube, stepped head tube, and that's what keeps your head in the game as a builder. and pushes your limits. Or I just did a full Di2 kids bike that custom built the rear end, and I mean, that's what gains you respect among your peers, because you constantly build. You know, we all get to where we can crank out road bikes or mountain bikes in our sleep, but it's the ones that push us to our limits is what keeps us building it and challenges us and makes it interesting.
Yeah, I agree a lot with him on that. This last year, I've stepped up my business a little bit just through customers contacting me and wanting new stuff that I haven't done before. Things like integrated seat post, or I had somebody that wanted their cables run through the seat stay, and it was new to me. And so, but you can't tell them, no, I can't do that because I'm new and I'm trying to get my stuff out there. So you just attack it head on and do the best job you can. And I've been fortunate to get good feedback. As far as changing trends or anything, I don't know. I'm fairly new to frame building. The majority of my bicycles, I like just straightforward racing machines. They seem to be the most simple. I like to build something lightweight, and let them put their choice of seat post stem and just build it up into a race bike. I've kind of forgot the rest of the question that you had.
No, that's good. I did have one follow-up. This kind of came up in the first roundtable. Have you ever been in a situation where you tell a customer no? Where you either, because of it's not your style, or you just don't agree with what they're doing?
You know, I've never told a customer no, but I've gotten real close. And, you know, there are things that a customer thinks that they want that they may not understand how it happens. And for instance, one of the bikes I have here goes from a red to a black fade. Well, in initial talking about that, it was going to be a red to a silver fade. But it's the small details that sometimes get overlooked. For instance, if you're going to fade red into silver, that intermediate color is pink. And there's no way to get around that from an aesthetic standpoint. Either we make it a pinstripe that breaks them, but a fade isn't going to work. So you get into that in frame design too. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I love building frames. And once I communicate with you that I don't like this geometry, and if you're still pushing me and you're going to write the check for it, I'll build it.
I've never told anybody no yet. I haven't had to. I let them, there's times that they tell me things that they want that I think I might know just a little bit better way, something that might fit or ride a little bit better. As far as their paint schemes and so forth, I usually let them pick out their favorite colors and I give them what they want. And I've been fortunate that so far everybody has been happy with with the look of their frame and the performance of it. I don't know, as far as telling somebody no, I don't think I'd tell them that unless I knew that it wouldn't work.